Let's get started. All right, guys. First of all, good evening to everybody. Tonight we got an exciting topic. One of the most, I think, one of the most important topics for anybody. All right, and that's goal setting, how to set goals, but more importantly, how to achieve goals. Okay, Mike.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I'm excited, and we'll be right back. So don't go anywhere.
Mike, tonight's topic, you and I have discussed this a lot because as martial artists, we're always setting goals. And we know the importance of goal setting. We get trained in that mentality in the martial arts. But also, no matter what we're going to do in life, there's got to be goals. One of the benefits of setting goals is that it keeps you very, very focused. It helps you in your decision making. It helps you know what not to do also.
Right.
But there's a lot of confusion about what are goals, how to set goals, and then how to achieve them. What do you think about that topic?
Well, it's a great topic. It's an interesting topic, and I was just listening to Earl Nightingale's "The Strangest Secret," and what he says about goals is, and I firmly believe this, that you could stop 100 people in the street and say, "Hey, what is your goal?" And they'll look at you like, like you come from another planet or something, because most people are just living life on a regular basis, getting up, doing the same thing over and over and over again,
Right,
and not really setting something concrete, something that they've written down, something that they thought through, right?
right,
They're just going through the regular steps. And like you said, because we have martial arts experience, we know, okay, I'm going from white belt to yellow belt to green belt to this belt to that belt. And we got little goals that we have to accomplish in order to get there. But the whole topic is very good. And for those people, the fact of the matter is that that number, 97% of people,
right,
are just not going to follow through with this. But the
right.
3% that do usually achieve more in life than the 97% combined. So, yeah, I'm excited about talking about this today, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny that we're talking about the martial arts because at my dojo, it's amazing because sometimes I have parents who bring in children, and they tell me they want to sign them up for classes, right? But when I ask them what benefit do you want your child to get out of this, or what is your goal for your child? I tell you, if I got 10 people, at least 7 to 8 will give me this look like they really haven't thought about it,
Mm.
you know, and they're, well, what kind of benefits can they get? And I tell
They're asking you.
yeah. And I'm like, well, I can't set goals for you and your child. You have to tell me, why are you here? And again, it's an amazing thing to see that, because you would think if a parent brings his child somewhere to take lessons, that they have a goal in mind. Okay. And even some of the younger teenagers, let's say the kids between 11 and 13, sometimes you ask them, well, what do you want to study martial arts? I don't know.
Mm.
Well, did you see something on TV? Is your friend taking it? Well, I saw a little MMA. Okay, so like, what do you want to get out of it? You want to learn how to fight? You want to learn self-defense? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to become a teacher? And so many of them don't have a clue. So then,
Right.
so then I have to do like a little walk through it, what we offer, what my mindset is, and to see if that's a fit for them. And it's funny because the kids that do come in with a goal, or the parents know why those kids should be there, are the ones that tend to stay the longest and train the hardest. You
Right.
know,
I
and
agree
and, and it's
100%.
yeah. You know, what do you think about that?
Well, I think one of the key elements in goal setting, and I think that's why it's so important, right?
Right,
When we do goal setting, is that we get some kind of clarification, right? I often, when I tell people, when I'm teaching people how to do online marketing, I
right,
say, go to Google and then put home business. And
right,
then just as Google is giving you that, the information, you put no, working from home. Now you change the keyword, right?
right,
No, a part-time business. Now you
right,
change the keyword again.
right,
So even Google, as good as it is, you got to give it a specific directive for
right,
it to
right,
find the angle in which you're looking for, right?
right,
And I think that that's one of the biggest problems that people have, that today they're thinking about this and tomorrow they're thinking about this. And in
right,
some situations, they're thinking about multiple things in a day's time, right?
right, right.
So their mind is never fixed and obsessed with something. I think it's important, and we'll get into the steps of goal setting and stuff like that. But clarity is by
Uh-huh.
far the most the primary of importance, right?
Right, right, absolutely, and I think that's why it's important for people to understand what a goal is. Anthony Robbins says that there's a difference between having a wish and a goal.
Mm,
If you're wishing for something, you just are thinking about it, but a goal is something you have a plan for. Okay,
right.
and a lot of times people they don't really make that distinction. They're thinking about it. Well, I want to do this, I want to do that, but they're not backing that up with real practical plans and the ways to measure that. Okay,
Right.
but when you have a goal, it's amazing when you set a goal and you develop the plans to back that up, and you develop that, like what we've talked about in the past, that burning desire. That goal becomes a guide in your life. It becomes like that guiding light that you're moving towards this. So it eliminates a lot of distractions in your life, But again, people have to be clear about what they want, all right, and why they want it, okay? Because a lot of times people will set a goal, but they really don't know why they're setting that goal, or they may be setting a goal because the people around them have the same goals, or they think they should be setting that goal, but it's not a goal that's really coming from them. It's not a goal that's going to affect transformation in them. What do
Right.
you think?
I totally agree. And you know what? One of my mentors says something very, very interesting. He breaks goals down to A, B, and C. And
Right,
what he says, A is a goal that you've done before. So in other words, you bought a new car before and you say, okay, my goal for 2021 is I'm going to buy a new car. But
right,
you've already done that, right? So it's really not a goal, because a goal should be something that stretches you into a new
right,
position where you've never been, right?
right, right,
Goal number B, or goal B, is things that you think you could probably do. Oh yeah,
right,
if I plan this out the right way, I could do this. If I right
right,
goal, the top goal, and the goals that you should be going for are goals that are going to stretch you, that are going to
right,
make you a little bit fearful. Oh my God, man, imagine, man,
right,
I don't have a clue how I'm going to do that.
right,
And that's the goal that stretches you. This is what Bob Proctor talks about all the time.
right,
That most people, they just go back to, what can I do? Instead of, what do I want to do? What
right.
do I want to do is a big difference from, can I do this? Right.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and so you're really not stretching, you're really not growing.
Right,
The purpose of a goal, according to Mr. Proctor, is that you become the person that can create that can manifest that objective, right?
right, right,
So if you've already done it, not good. Number one,
right,
you're not going to have the motivation. Number two, you're not growing. If
Right.
you think you could do it and you already got all the plans calculated, it's not as motivating as if you are stepping into a new realm and
Right.
you say, man, this is what I want to do, but I really don't have a clue as to how I'm going to do it. It's just, you shouldn't have the clue. The
Right.
fact of
Right.
the matter
Right.
is, you know,
Right.
this is what stops a lot of people. They set up a goal and they say, well, I don't know how to do it. What's the first step? There's a procedure to get that information,
Right.
but it should be something that scares you. It should be something that big that
Right.
scares
Right.
you for a little bit, right?
Yeah. You know, it's funny you bring that up because I was listening to Billy Olbrooks the other day, and he said something really profound. He said, when you set a goal, if you know you can achieve that goal on your own, that's not a big enough goal.
Mm.
That the goal you set should scare you and it should force you to like reach out to other resources. All right. Because if you can do it and you can do it on your own, you know, you haven't stretched, you haven't grown as a person. But
Right.
when you set something that, listen, this is a little scary. I've never done this before. I'm gonna need help. I'm gonna have to tap into some resources, whether it's a book, a CD, a video, another person. That stretches you out in a very, very different way. But again, we go back to why do you want that goal? You
Mm.
know, and I think again, like they say, the gymnasiums, right? On the first 2 to 3 weeks of January, they're filled with people, right? Because they all want to lose weight.
Right.
But by day 21, day 22, the numbers drop.
Right.
Okay, because they didn't have a strong enough reason. They didn't really understand what is the purpose of this. Like if you like let's say for example, if you want to lose weight, you can ask somebody why. Well, I want to look better in my clothes. Okay, why? Why do you want to look better in your clothes? Well, I want to be more attractive. Okay, why do you want to be more attractive? Well, because I want to attract a certain mate. Okay, why do you want to attract that mate? What's that going to get you? All right. Once you have that mate, once you have those benefits, what are those benefits going to bring you? Until you get to that very, very core. When you find that core reason, that's the true motivation. And if you tap into that, that will move you more. That I think that will propel you further than anything else.
Yeah.
What
And
do you think,
know,
Mike?
you gotta have that. You gotta have that core clarity. What you just
Right.
explained there, where you're
Right.
digging, if you want to be able to overcome the obstacles, right? Because
Right.
the fact
Right.
of the matter is, if you got the right goal and it's a big goal, you're going to come across an obstacle, right? There's something, there's a deficiency that you have right
Right.
now, and maybe you have to bring it out. Maybe you have the what it takes inside, but you're afraid to release it. Whatever it may be, you're
Yeah,
going to come
yeah.
across an obstacle. But if you don't understand what that core value is that you're looking to accomplish, you're going to give up real quick. You're going to give
Yeah.
up the second that, right? That's why, and I'll tell you, what they say is that you should go for something you want, not something that you think mom and dad want you to have.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
mom and
Right.
dad wanted me to be a doctor, and then you go to medical school and you say, I hate this thing. I don't, right? And so and that happens quite often, right?
Yeah.
Just because we're trying to
Yeah.
impress somebody else.
Right. Right.
But you should be able to go in and do something that you really, really want, because then
Right.
it's like, a lot of people say, right, you should carry your goal, and I agree, and I agree with this. You should carry
Right.
your goals with you, and you should think about it all the time, right?
Right. Right.
But the key is that if you really love what you're going for, that should be happening all the time anyway, right?
Yeah,
If you really
yeah.
love that goal, if you're saying, man, I want to be a black belt, and I remember when I was in martial
Right.
arts, every belt I was like thinking, I was looking at the black belts and all saying, oh man, I can't wait till I get my black belt, right?
Right. Right.
It's something that you're drawn to, right?
Right.
I didn't
Right.
have to put effort into thinking about being a black belt.
Right.
I wanted it so badly that it was just happening on its own.
Right.
I was
Right.
consumed with the idea. Now, one of the things I think, and I'd like your opinion on this, a lot of people say, you shouldn't be obsessed with things because obsession is not a good thing. I think obsession is a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
especially when it's, there's things that you could be obsessed with that are not good.
Right.
You're obsessed with drinking, you're obsessed with, promiscuous sex or
Uh,
something like
uh,
that. That could be a problem, all right?
mhm.
But being obsessed with wanting to grow and accomplish something, I think that's one of the most beautiful things. I think more people need to be obsessed
Right.
with a grand goal like that, to grow,
Right. Right.
to become more, right? So what's your opinion on that?
My opinion is I'm going to take if it's okay with the audience, I'm going to take a little Christian view on that, and I think it's very biblical to be obsessed, okay, which is something that you're not going to hear in most churches. But if you read the Bible, when God was talking to either the Israelites or his followers, he would tell them meditate on the word daily, meditate in the morning, meditate in the afternoon, meditate at night. He told them, listen, tie it upon your heart, his law. And I take that to another level. I say that, the creator is telling us when we want to learn something, when we want to master something, you got to do it in the morning. You got to do it in the afternoon. You got to think about it at night. I remember there's a passage in the Bible that says to talk about the law when you're walking with your companions. All right. So it's like us right now to talk about our goals when we're with our companions to talk, because they, the right people can encourage you, can give you a different perspective. And like you're saying, the more it becomes a part of your personality, of your way of life, the less you have to think about it. You don't have to be pushed to do it because it's just who you are, And, again, some people say, no, you should be more balanced and this and that. Yeah, of course, we're going to love our families. We got to take care of our health. But if you have a strong desire to do something that would benefit the world, I personally think that's the creator putting that in you. Okay. And when he puts that inside of you, it is our responsibilities to bring that out. Like, you're an excellent teacher, right? And you train people in network marketing. So that is something that you're helping people achieve financial independence. You're not just financially, but mentally. You're teaching them how to become more confident in themselves, maybe how to do public speaking, how to overcome different goals. So when you're doing your thing at a conference, they can apply that to their personal lives. And that's a calling. To me, that's a God-given calling, and you're serving God and humanity that way. I don't think being balanced is always good.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion, Mike.
You mentioned Tony Robbins before, and Tony Robbins was being interviewed by this guy named something Walker. I forgot his name, but it's on YouTube, right? And it's in Tony Robbins' house in Miami, right? He's got a house in Miami, and the guy is interviewing him. And he goes to Tony, and this is like towards the end of that interview. And he says to Tony, listen, a lot of people talk about obsession and stuff like that. I like to be balanced. I like to keep everything in balance and stuff like that. He thought Tony was going to say, oh, yeah, balance is a thing. But Tony said, you know what, man, I'll be honest with you. For me, balance, my way of calculating balance is I give it everything I got for this amount of time. And then if I need to, I'll take a break with my wife and I'll go and I'll vacation for this amount of time.
Right.
But when I'm there and I'm focused on accomplishing this goal, I'm in 100%. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the guy, you could tell he was taking a little bit aback, oh, wow, I never thought about it that way. Yeah. But that's what the people that are at the highest level of their game, right?
Right.
Like, I remember Kobe Bryant. There was a story about Kobe Bryant. So this young guy, it was actually an NBA player. He went to the courts 2 hours early before the
Right.
game to practice, and he saw Kobe Bryant was already there practicing, right?
Right.
And then so he's playing, he's practicing for 2 hours, and Kobe Bryant practiced for the whole 2 hours also, right? And Kobe, the guy, they had to leave the stadium because things were getting ready for the people to come in and stuff.
Right.
And the guy said, "Hey, Kobe, how come? I mean, you were here before me, man. How many hours are you practicing?" He said, I would have gone home, but I saw you came and I said, no, I can't let this guy outwork me, right? And he just practiced up until the same time as the other guy because that was his obsession. His obsession was being the best that he could according to his talent and ability, and he was willing to put the time and the effort out there. And that's and again, because he loved it. Right? It wasn't something that a coach had to be behind him. Come on, Kobe, free throws.
Right.
He was doing that all on his own, right? So I think the number one thing, like we mentioned, is getting clear about what it is that you want. What is the key, right?
Yeah.
Not something that, oh, well, the company wants me to do X amount of sales. Is that really what you want? If it is, then, you figure it out. If it's not, but if it's part of your growth projections, then you have to figure it out too, right? But when you're talking life goals, it's what do you really want? What do you enjoy? What will you go and climb the mountain for, right? What is so big and so strong for you that you would, crawl through glass for, right? That's the key. So, Sensei, let me get your idea on this. One person that I follow, very, very interesting gentleman, and I won't mention his name, but he says that there's a shift that goes on in your mind when you say, this is my goal, right? As opposed to saying, this is my mission, right? Mission has a more captivating lock in the brain, right? When you say, you know what, my mission is to create financial freedom for my family, as opposed to just saying, I want to be a millionaire, right? My goal is to make 150,000 this year, whatever, right? But when you go and you say, hey, my mission is to teach my family how to be financially independent so that they don't have to go through the things I went through, whatever your goal is. But it's just a simple shift from using the word goal to using the word mission. What do you think about that?
I think he's absolutely correct, because what has happened in our society, the word goal has been thrown around so much, and it gets, it's been played out that it no longer has any value. All right. People say, yeah, my goal is this, my goal is that. And listen, 9 times out of 10, they're BSing you. All right. It's like, but like I love Billy Olbrooks. He says, listen, when a person tells you their goals, just look at their actions. And that alone will tell you how committed they are. But when you use the word mission is like, it creates almost, to me, almost like a warrior mindset. You're on a mission. This is something that has to be accomplished. It's not something that you even are thinking about that you want to do it. It's something that must be done. And it's funny because Anthony Robbins talks a lot about this, that when you must do something, those things get done. But when you classify things as I should do this, normally the shoulds don't get done. The I must get done. And when you put that mind frame on and you use that mission statement and you create a mission statement, it propels you to a different level. I've had a mission statement for my dojo, and I tell you, when I wrote that out, it just took me in a different direction. And it's funny, and it is still one of the driving forces of what I do. Part of it, I'll share a part of it is that, I said, in our mission statement, we believe every child is born with greatness, is endowed with endowed with the seeds of success, and is born to win. So whenever a child comes in to my studio, I have that mindset that this child was born to win, is born to succeed, is endowed with greatness. But now I have to help them discover that for themselves and bring that out. And that just drives me in a different direction. Okay, what do you think, Mike?
I think that's a beautiful thing, man. And you mentioned before that the goals should affect how you do things throughout the day, and how you face problems. And when you got a clearly defined mission statement like that,
Right.
it obliterates any obstacle that comes in the way. And there's going to be obstacles. That's just a part of the growth process, right? Again,
Right.
you should make a goal that makes you stretch, a goal that makes you get bigger and better. And when you do that, I mean, that's just a natural progression, right? You gotta stretch, you gotta grow. But when you got a clearly defined thing, right? And you see that? That's my goal on an index card.
Right.
I carry it with me because I want it to be my mission. Because I wanted to know, I want to, every time I put my hand in my pocket, I wanted to give me the idea of this is what I'm working towards, right? So that every day I know, hey, this is what my obsession is going to be. And you can create an obsession. Again, when you fall in love with somebody, you don't have to think about thinking about them.
Right.
Because you love them and you want to be with them and things like that. I do this. I carry my goal with me simply because I want my hand to trigger the thought, the picture in my mind. So that I could, repetition is what hits the subconscious. In closing this, why don't we give people, what would you say is 3 things that you would recommend people to do in setting their goals? Now, let's be clear about something. I think one of the things that we don't have to mention is that they need to be clear about what they want.
Right.
Because I think that's the number one requirement to setting a goal. You got to know what you want, not what you think you could get, not what you've done before. What do you really, really want, right? But once you get clear on that, what 3 steps do you have that could help?
I would say, when you set a goal, right, it's very important that you put a time frame to that goal also. It should be realistic, but it should also be challenging, okay? Why? Because we as humans tend to procrastinate. We all do it. It's not a fault in you. It's just who we are. We tend to procrastinate.
Right.
But when you put a time frame and you say, listen, I need to achieve this goal by, let's say, I don't know, a year. All right. That gives you a way to measure your progress. Okay. And you have to measure your progress, because if you're not measuring your progress, you could be going forward, you could be going backwards. You don't know.
Right.
Second thing is, the other thing is,
let me interrupt you here. Let me interrupt you. A 1-year goal is good. Should you have a 10-year goal, a 5-year goal, all that correspond, or just a 1-year goal?
I think it's where you're at. If you're not used to setting goals, I would tell everybody to start with a 1-year goal.
Okay.
If you've had some experience with setting goals, and depending on what you achieve, a 10-year goal is phenomenal. Back in the day, the Japanese companies, I don't know if they still do it, but they had a reputation for setting 100-year goals.
Really?
That they would think, where is this company going to be in 100 years from now? All right. So sometimes you got to take people through baby steps. You got to give them small successes. You may even do like a 30-day goal for them. All right. Just to get their feet wet, to build up some momentum. And then, again, your resources, you got to look at your resources and you got to ask yourself honestly, what are the resources and skills that I have that will help me achieve this goal? Okay. Then you can ask yourself, what are the resources and skills that I may need to develop or somehow get in order to achieve that goal? Because, like I may have a certain goal, but my level of skill at this moment may not be it may not be enough to achieve that goal. So I may have to develop skills along the way to achieve that goal. All right. It's like being a black belt. You want to be a black belt, but when you come in as a white belt, you don't even have the skills of a white belt. So you first have to acquire the skills as a white belt, a yellow belt, orange belt, green belt, for you to make that
Right.
dream, that goal of becoming a black belt. I just want to add one more thing. Like when you're setting the goals and you're moving towards your goals, and like you said, you're gonna be facing obstacles. Another thing you should ask yourself is, why am I not achieving my goals? That's a very important question, because there may be things that are going on that are preventing you from achieving your goals. One of them may be you're not consistent enough. You might not be taking enough action. Maybe you're still surrounding yourself with negative people.
Good point.
Yeah, I think there's 3 to 4 things that are basic to any goal setting. Like you said, clarity, time frame, analyzing your resources, your skills, and being honest with yourself and asking, why am I not achieving this? Hey, what do you think, Mike?
Yeah, well, excellent points. All of those were excellent points. I don't know how often you run your promotions, but my old school with Kashimoto, it was every 2 months, right? So it was like every 2 months, I'm already thinking, all right, before the next promotion, right? I gotta sharpen up my fighting skills. Before my next promotion, I gotta
Right.
sharpen up this kata so that I don't look stupid like I did the last time. Before the next promotion, I gotta do. So I had every 2 months we would have a promotion, and every 2 months I'm looking to tighten something up, to make it a little bit better, right? To get to the next level. So even as a black belt, every 2 months we would have, and it doesn't mean that you go from first degree to second degree in 2 months. You could be on first degree for 3 years before you go to the next degree, but you still had to come to promotion, and you still had to show some kind of an improvement.
Right.
So that a lot of times what you said, hey, you set a 1 year goal, and again, a 10-year goal might be good as a long-term vision. The 1 year goal gets you to focus right now on the spot. What am I doing now? And even breaking it down to every 3 months, right? Every month sometimes. Sometimes you got to break it down to say, okay, this month, what mentor am I going to get? Right? Because that's one of the 3 things that I wrote down as far as, what 3 steps I would give people. Number 1, you should get obsessed with it. Right? That means you get up in the morning and you open your eyes, and the first thing you're thinking about is your goal, right? Or your mission. You go to sleep at night and you're thinking about your mission. You're having lunch and you're thinking about that's obsession is an important thing. Then having the right mentors, right? You got to find the people that already did what you want to do, and get the shortcuts, right? And see what you don't know. Oh, you were working, you were making 300 calls in order to be the top salesman in that realty company. Maybe I got to do 300 calls, right? You were doing Facebook Lives 4 times a day. Maybe you got to do Facebook Lives. So it's easy when you got somebody that's already gone through the path and gone through the obstacles. So I recommend people, number 1, get obsessed. Number 2, find the mentors. And number 3, just what you mentioned before, stay away from the people that are going to discourage you, because a lot of people are going to discourage you. Sometimes, you say, I'm going to be a millionaire. I ain't going to be no millionaire, man. Right?
Right.
And what does that do? It throws water on your fire, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And you know what's interesting is that people that set and achieve goals never break somebody down from achieving a
Right.
goal, right?
Right.
The
Right.
people that are the most successful, and you say that your goal to them, hey, I want to be a millionaire. You go get it, man. You could do
Yeah.
it. Why
Yeah.
not? I
Yeah.
did it. You could do it, right?
Right.
But you get some broke uncle, and you say, I'm gonna be. Oh, you ain't gonna be no million. I wanted to be a millionaire when I was 11. That never happened, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So those people can destroy your dream, right?
Yeah.
It's the people that don't have dreams that love destroying other people's dreams. So
Right.
my advice is, maintain that focus, maintain that obsession, find the right mentors, and stay away from the people that are going to discourage you, right?
Right. And it's funny. It's funny because we did a podcast on the on mentors, right?
Yep.
And one of the things that I found is it's very interesting that so many people choose not to have a mentor. Okay, they're they all like they don't have the humility to say, you know what, I don't know. I need to have somebody to guide me through that. They want to pretend that they know everything and that they don't need any counseling, any guidance, and they'll struggle for years with something and then fall apart and say, oh, that doesn't work. Okay. And that could be martial arts, network marketing, whatever it is. But it's like people who quit in martial arts or don't make it to, let's say, black belt level. You realize those are the people that only gave 100, maybe gave 50%, missed a lot of classes. When you try to correct them, they give you the I know. Oh, I know that. And you get frustrated working with people like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the ones that don't progress. Now, the person that comes in and says, listen, I need some help. Oh, coach, can you take a look at me? Can you see me do my kata? Can you see me when I speak to people, when I teach, what was good about it? What wasn't correct? Those are the people that progress because they're open to criticism,
That's right.
And when I say criticism, I don't mean the negative criticism, but honest criticism. Listen, you're not that good at this yet, but we're going to work on it. We're going to develop a plan and we're going to improve your skills in this. If you have that kind of attitude when you approach a teacher or a mentor, you'd be surprised how many people are willing to open up to you and just show you, how to do certain things. And that'll propel you further than anything else.
Yeah, Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize, especially those people that you're saying that kind of avoid, and I think a lot of people avoid mentoring under somebody, and some people do it for foolish reasons, like, oh my God, I have to pay this guy to mentor me. But you know what? I mean, if you have to pay him, you got to pay him, and I mean, it just makes sense. But the people that perform at the highest levels, right? Like Michael Jordan had Phil Jackson. And he won a tournament whenever Phil Jackson was his coach, right? Muhammad Ali had Angelo Dundee, and he won every time he had Angelo Dundee in his corner, right? So I mean, there's people that you need, and it's short-sighted to say, I got this one of my mentors. His name is Ray Higdon. And he's an online marketer. And I know for a fact he's part of this mastermind group under this guy named Brendan Bouchard. He was one of the guys that followed Tony, but he's broken off and he's on his own. And his mastermind group costs $25,000 a year. His mastermind group, right? Everybody, there's only 20 people in that mastermind group. Everybody in that group is making over $2.5 million a year. So why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
I mean, think about that. Why, if you could put $25,000 in the table and now learn the secrets that could make you $2.5 million, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, some people are just short-sighted to say, "Oh no, I ain't paying that. I ain't I need a mentor. I know how to do it." And then, like you said, they get frustrated. They get jaded. They say, "Nah, the system doesn't work," or "God doesn't want me to do this," or
right.
You made the mistake of not getting the right people to follow to help you along the way. This takes some building, right?
Yeah.
And the building process is a matter of one step and you build, and another step and you build.
Right.
And personally, and I know we may be getting a little bit off the topic, but for me, mentors, what makes it important is the accountability. I know that I carry my goal sheet, but you know what? The mentor would be saying, "Hey, Mike, so what'd you do for that today?" Right? Where I might not be asking myself. I may just be comfortable carrying it in my pocket. He's pushing me to be accountable for it. And that's what I think is important about that.
It's amazing, you know. You know Danny DeVito, the actor, right?
Yeah.
All right, he played in a movie that came out years and years ago with Michael Douglas and I forgot the lady's name, but it was called War of the Roses. You know, this couple that gets married and they go through this real horrible divorce, right? But towards the end of the movie, you know, Danny DeVito plays a divorce lawyer and he has a new client coming in. And instead of telling them to get a divorce, he's, you know, giving them advice to reconcile with his wife. So you see that the guy starts getting a little uncomfortable, right? And I'll never forget this. Danny DeVito looks at the guy and tells him, "Listen, when somebody who makes $400 an hour wants to give you free advice, you should listen." Yeah, and that always stuck with me. You gotta watch that movie, man. It's like, because Danny DeVito, he goes through this transformation in the movie. But when I heard that, I said, yeah, if somebody who makes that amount of money is willing to take his time and to give you positive information, why wouldn't you listen to that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's powerful.
And you know, and again, there's a lot of things that go into goal setting. We could talk about this for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
But I think the basic advice that we gave to everybody should at least propel them forward. And if they have any questions, anything like that, they can reach out to you, right?
They could comment. Yeah, they could comment on this video. And for those of you that are looking at the video, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share this with people. If you find it to be valuable, make sure you share. And when you share, if you're sharing on social media, that'll also put it on your timeline. And you can revisit and look at it again and maybe pull some other golden nuggets there. Sensei, again, thank you very much for spending your time and sharing your wisdom. And you had great advice and great stuff to share. And I'll tell you, you know, the people that are going to your school are truly lucky. And I'll tell you guys, I know that it seems like, hey, I'm doing this because Sensei is right here next to me and I'm trying to promote his business. First of all, he's in a central location in Woodhaven, New York. And if you're in the area, make sure you get to go to the school and see the great spirit that's in the school. And not only the great spirit, but how great of a teacher Sensei is, because it's impressive. It truly is impressive. He's got a great mix of camaraderie and traditional martial arts, because traditional martial arts is very, very strict, right?
Yeah.
But he has a great mix of that, and you see that in the kids. You see that in the way that he trains. And if you got the guts to put the gi on and train in the school, I tell you, you're going to come back and say, man, what a workout. So, Sensei, I appreciate you and I appreciate your information. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Anything you want to say in closing?
Just guys, you know, listen, just share this, comment on it. And if there's a topic that we haven't covered that you would like for us to cover, we would love to hear from you. What do you want to talk about on the next topic, Mike?
Well, actually, the next topic I wanted to talk about overcoming goals, which is kind of linked in with what we're talking about here. You know, and there's a lot of ways that we could do that. So prepare some good information on that. And I'm going to do the same. And hopefully we'll see you guys next week. We took a couple of weeks off because we had a death in the family, in my family. And, you know, we had to let a little time go by. But now we're back in the swing of things, and we're just moving forward. So, Sensei, thank you. I appreciate you sharing your time with me.
All right, Mike. Have a great night, man. Love to the family.
Thank you, man.